there are many ways to increase the conversion rate in our stores, but the more we think about it and the more, sales we want to make, usually the more complex these things get. And sometimes when we do that, we forget about the simple things. We forget about the simple ways to maximize our conversion rate and our sales. And that's something that I want to talk about today, because I'm talking about payment processors, or payment types if you want. Now think about it. Payment types are extremely important, because if you visit a store and you want to buy a product, you will only do so if the payment options of your choice is available. Let's say you only have a PayPal account, you don't own a credit card. You obviously you only will buy a product if PayPal is available, and the other way around. Or maybe you don't have any of these and you hope that you can actually buy with a bank deposit or something, which is very, very common here in Germany. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about the importance of payment processors, or more specifically, the different payment types that you need to have in your store, basically, kind of ranked by importance, but make sure to have as many of these in your store as possible. And I also give you some tips for all of these different options so that you know how to use them in the best way. So let's start with the first one. And obviously it's a payment option that you know about already, and this is PayPal. Now I want to start with those that are more obvious before I get into some payment options that you may not be aware of right now. So PayPal is absolutely crucial, because not only are people feeling more secure and more safe when this is available, also you gain more trust. So if you offer PayPal, people are like, okay, this business offers me to pay with PayPal, so the chance of them just being scammers or something is a little lower, right? However, a problem that many people have with PayPal, and that's a pretty common thing, is that they often put you on hold. So they keep your funds for like 30 days, 60 days, sometimes even half a year, which happened to me as well. And then it's a really annoying thing, and you really, need to somehow work it out. So what I recommend you guys to do is, when you use PayPal, be as proactive as possible. So this means when someone sends you an email, like this customer support ticket or so, answer it as quickly as you possibly can. Don't let any tickets, evolve or escalate into a chargeback. Always try to answer customers within a day or 2 days at absolute max. If they have a problem, if they are like asking, where's my order, my product is not as described, something was damaged, and you wait too long, like hoping that they will just forget about it or anything like that, they at some point may, do a chargeback. And especially in the beginning, when you don't have too many orders, literally 1 or 2 chargebacks can break your whole account. And I've seen all these things, so make sure to be proactive, make sure to help people as quickly as possible. And if, you are on the fence, like, should I give this person a refund? Should I keep the money and don't do anything at all? Usually it's better to just refund or do a partial refund than to risk a chargeback, especially if you sell a low ticket item like $10, $20. Most of the time it's easier to just refund it than to risk getting a chargeback and like losing your PayPal account. The second option is credit card, also super common, of course. You should have it in your store, else you will absolutely lose conversions. And here, ideally, you can use Shopify payments. Now, of course, you are dependent on Shopify in that case, but that's pretty much the case for any payment provider, really. So Shopify payments, if it's available in your country, is super handy because it's fairly cheap, obviously super easy to integrate with Shopify with a click, basically, and it's a really, really powerful way to process credit card payments. Another one that all of you guys should know about is Stripe. Obviously, I think the majority of you have tried it before or are using it. It's my favorite payment processor for credit cards, and I've been using it for pretty much day one of my e-commerce business, 2015. And ever since, I've used it in almost all my projects wherever I was accepting credit cards. Here, same thing as with PayPal, be proactive, try to solve things as quickly as possible, and also put a terms of service page, privacy policy, refund policy especially on your page. The more of these policies and transparent things you have, the less likely you are that Stripe will ban you or put a hold on you or something like that. Actually, it's even a requirement from them that you have some of these pages in place, but they don't check it all the time. So make sure you have them. And especially when it comes to refund policy, make sure that you are transparent, make sure that you mention all the stuff that is important there, and you will notice that you are way more likely to actually win a case if you had a very transparent and clear refund policy that was talking about when people can actually expect a refund and when that's not the case. So make sure you have that in place, will absolutely help you. Number 3, now that's the first option that you may not really be aware of, and that is Amazon payments. Now, Amazon payments is a payment method that I've been using roughly since mid 2016 or early 2016, something like that, and it's super, super powerful. I remember a time where Amazon payments made up around 30% of all our transactions, which is pretty insane, even a little bit more than that. So 30 to 40% of all our transactions. Now, Amazon payments works the following way. You give people the option to basically buy from your store using their Amazon account. So the big benefit here is obviously that they don't need an account in your store. They don't need to give you their payment, like their credit card details, anything like that. They just log into Amazon, they use this account to pay, they pay the money to Amazon, Amazon pays you a little bit later and keeps some fees like 2%, something 2 to 3%, something in that range. So that's extremely powerful for several reasons. First of all, as I said, it's super convenient for the buyer. They can just click and use their account and that's it. Second of all, of course, you get the trust from Amazon. So if something goes wrong, people are like, okay, Amazon handles it for me. It's not a problem. I can pretty much trust the site because if something happens, I can escalate it to Amazon and they expect Amazon to solve it for them. So that's a very powerful thing. And lastly, number 3 is that you can use their logo on your site in that case, right? So if you have the Amazon payment logo somewhere in the footer or also in your payment options, you immediately get some part of Amazon's trust for your own business. So even if you don't have anything to do with Amazon besides using their payment system, people will kind of associate you with Amazon in some tiny little way, and they will think, okay, Amazon is like working with them, they are allowing Amazon payments here, so they immediately think you are a more trustworthy business. So pretty much you can only win by integrating Amazon payments. There is nothing really nothing that really speaks against it. So try it out. Check whether it's allowed in your country. I know that it's allowed here in Germany. I know that it works in UK, US, and many other countries as well. But check out whether it works for you because it's far from working in every country in the world. But definitely use it if you have the chance to. Then number 4, we have buy now and pay later. Now here in Germany, that's a very, very, very popular way of buying something online. Basically, you get the package with the product and then you get like an invoice and you have to pay it usually within 30 days or sometimes 14 days or something like that. Now here in Germany, it's I think the most popular or the second most popular payment method. And if you can use something like that in your store, like for example using Klarna, which integrates with Shopify directly, if you are in a country where this is possible and where this is also like available from a technical perspective, you should absolutely consider doing it, because normally how this works is these companies pay you up front. So Klarna in that case, once a customer buys a product from your store, Klarna will pay you, and then they have to deal with the customer paying for the product, right? So you have no risk. It's basically just the way any other payment provider works, at least from your perspective. But for the customer, it's a big benefit, especially if you sell more expensive items, because now they can like push it away from themselves a little bit. They can be like, okay, I buy this product right now and I pay it sometimes within the next 30 days, that's all right. So that's a great plus for you, basically a no-brainer if that works in your country. But for the customer, it's a no-brainer as well, or it's a very convenient source of paying, simply because they don't have to put out their credit card right away. They don't have to enter that stuff. They can simply do it later. Again, also a little more trust for you because they don't have to pay anything up front, and only once they receive it, they have to like take out their credit card or make a deposit or something like that. So really, really cool stuff. And number 5 are mobile payments. And that's something that I have to admit I didn't use that much so far. Sometimes we had it there because it's pretty easy to integrate. But so far, at least, especially in Germany and, in multiple countries here in Europe, it's not that commonly used yet. I know that in the US, a little more people are using it. But across the board, mobile payments is not such a big thing yet. But of course, it's only going to change in the future, so I can definitely see how in the next 5 or 10 years this may become one of the biggest payment options out there. So it surely makes sense to have it on here right now. Maybe a couple of sales will come from there, especially if you have a business that is doing a lot of sales, like 50 sales a day, 100 sales a day or more. Then surely this may get you some extra sales every single day just because you have it, just because some people want to pay with that option. So this being said, these were the payment options that I wanted to talk about in this video. Generally, as a rule of thumb, of course, have as many as possible. So I roughly, gave you these different options in the order of importance. You can argue about credit cards and PayPal. You can argue about Amazon payments and pay later, but I kind of prefer Amazon payments here in general. But what you need to keep in mind is use as many as you can. If you cannot use Amazon payments, but you can use buy now, pay later, do that. And even if you want to do things like Bitcoin or something, very, very, very few people might pay with that. But normally it doesn't hurt to add more payment providers to the mix, simply because you never know whether your next customer is someone who can only pay with PayPal or only with credit card or only with bank deposits or something like that. So add as many of them as possible. Of course, if some of them are extremely expensive, you may consider getting rid of them, because in some cases the customer may choose it because the customer prefers it, but they might even buy from you with another payment option, but they chose the one that is more expensive for you. So this being said, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up, and please let me know in the comments what your favorite payment options are, which are the ones that generate the most sales for you. If you want to see more videos like that about e-commerce, Google Ads, marketing, dropshipping, make sure to subscribe and also hit the bell button so that you don't miss out whenever I post a new video. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm now kind of vamping this channel. I aim to make 2, if not 3 videos every single week on this channel here. So as I said, please subscribe if you want to get notified whenever I post a new one. I hope that you check the links that I have in the description for you. They might be really helpful for you if you want to grow your e-commerce business, especially if you want to do it with Google Ads. And this being said, thanks a lot for watching. I'm really looking forward to see you in the next video as well. And until then, I wish you all the best with your business. Bye-bye.